Hello and welcome to the post-match show of this Asia Cup 2022 clash between India and Pakistan. And what a nail-biter has this clash been. After such a long time, it was an absolute treat from fans from both the sides to enjoy some good cricket. I'm your host Damini Basu, extremely delighted to be joined by my distinguished guests Joydeep Mukherjee and Nishant Jeet Arora. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining. In this nail-biter, it was India who turned out to be victorious. So let's have straight away Joyda talking to us about his emotions at what he feels about India's win tonight.
I think they got out of jail. I think this was the bowlers did the job. I think the batters in the beginning were a little circumspect, took it too easy in the middle. You needed something special from Hardik Pandya. And, I've spoken about Hardik Pandya for the past 6 months. I've harped on how good he is. And these are glimpses of what he is. For me, he's the next Indian captain. For me, he's the guy so cool, so composed, such shots to be able to soak in the pressure. You don't get bigger pressure than the India-Pakistan game. And the pressure was getting to everybody. It got to the top order batsman, it got to Surya, it got to Jadeja. But even when he hit that previous ball before he hit that six straight to cover, and Dinesh Karthik must have said, 3 balls, 6 runs. He just said, just leave it to me. Just leave it to me. That calmness that comes with a lot of confidence, that comes when you have the skill set also. If you have if you have the skill set, you have the capability, then you feel the calmness because you have it in you to be able to do what is required of you. So today, with ball, with bat, he stood out, and Pakistan did unbelievably well because they didn't bat well, but the way the bowlers came back, it was great. Ideally, India should be winning this game with over and a half to spare, with 6 wickets in hand, 7 wickets in hand. That didn't happen because of very strong Pakistan bowling and the way they fought back. It was very commendable indeed.
Nishant, I'll come to you. Joyda gave his emotions. Now let's get to know from you. How are you feeling right now about about India winning in this fashion? What are your thoughts about India's performance tonight? And then we'll delve into the details.
I think on the very same ground last year around this time, India lost the match to Pakistan. Uh, and the difference between both the sides that played on that day and this day is Hardik Pandya. At that time, Hardik Pandya was unfit. Hardik Pandya was not bowling. Now Hardik Pandya is bowling. Hardik Pandya is in the form of his life. He can't do anything wrong on the cricket field, and that just shows that the amount of impact he brings to this side, the kind of contribution he makes to this side. Somehow, I never felt till the time Hardik Pandya was at the crease that India will not be able to chase it. I always felt that India was under control because credit to the bowlers. Yes, there was something in the wicket. There was some help for the bowlers, and the ball was odd ball was stopping, odd ball was zipping through the wicket. But Indian bowlers did very well by stopping Pakistan to restrict them under 150. This Pakistan side, when they have 160 plus runs on the board, they are a very different side because their bowling is such they always back their bowling. But under 150, India always knew that even if they get 10 runs in an over, they have to chase, they will chase it. And thanks to this outstanding rule by the ICC on the slow over rate, where captains more and more will be forced to think like today, India in the last 2 overs had to pay the price. Like the score which
Yes.
Pakistan got was largely because they were one fielder short in the outfield. And same was with Pakistan, same was with India. Pakistan with 3 overs. Just imagine in a match like this, where every run is so important. 3 overs, you don't have a fielder in the outfield, or one fielder short in the outfield. That means giving
Yes.
almost 30% or 40% of free area to the batters. And that
Nishant,
has,
today was unbelievable. Match started at 7:30, finished at
yeah,
11:40. Unthinkable.
yeah.
4 hours and 10
I
minutes.
think I think this will make Dada. I personally feel that out of all the laws which have been brought to, get the bowling, bowling rate under control, this will turn out to be the most effective. Teams will
Nobody cares about
start,
the money really. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I agree.
teams will start realizing that they can lose a match. Just imagine, like if those 19 runs in the last that 19 runs in the last partnership, if India had lost that game, they would have looked at, yeah, we were one fielder short. And why we were one fielder short?
Yeah,
Because we didn't bowl on time. So
yeah,
this will come into play. I think captains will become more disciplined. They will
yep.
teams will rally behind, and everyone will understand that slow over rate will end up losing. You can end up losing the match also. But I think overall, incredible performance by India. They played as a team. Obviously, Hardik Pandya is the star of the day, but everyone played their part. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Harshdeep Singh, Virat Kohli. At that point, India needed someone to go through those overs in a pressure match. He got those 35 runs, which will do world of good to him. So I think this was a difficult wicket, and on a difficult wicket, India chasing this score, really, it's a good start for India in the Asia Cup.
Absolutely. And Joyda, let's now delve into the details of this match. In the pre-match show, you had, felt a little bit that probably India going with this bowling attack it didn't seem to appear that strong. But in this match, would you say, as Nishant also said, that it's really good from India to be able to have restricted Pakistan below 160? Otherwise, Pakistan would have looked the better side. So, Joyda, would you say that it's the Indian bowlers who were very good, who managed to bag all the 10 wickets and restrict Pakistan, or did Pakistan look a weaker batting side today?
No, I think as far as my assumptions with the Indian bowling was concerned, it was basically with Avesh and Arshdeep. And as you see today, it was Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Pandya who had a superb day with the field. Chahal was decent, 8 runs and over 32. If you see Avesh and Arshdeep went at 8.4, which is quite high in a low scoring game. Because you have to realize one thing, that Pakistan were in trouble in their batting. It's not that they were 90 for 1. They were losing wickets. So their 8.4 is not commendable. If you bowl 8.4 when it's 210, it's okay. But in a 150 game, 8.4 is a lot of runs. Okay, in a 150, 160 chase. So I thought that Avesh and Arshdeep was okay in the beginning, but at the back end with those extra fielders, and Nishan makes a great point because they've tried many things, monetary fines and this and that. Nothing makes a difference. This is the one that will make a difference, because having an extra fielder inside the circle at the back end really hurts. And thankfully, both the teams went through with this, so they kind of evened out. But can you imagine if one team bowled their overs in time and the other team didn't? Then you feel it to the bone. That didn't happen in this case. In this case, both the teams took time, both the teams got penalized, so it kind of evened out. Okay? But this is a great thing that ICC has done, and this is something that he rightly says that will be in mind of every captain and coach. They'll be telling everybody to hurry up. Before there were these fines, and God knows who paid the fines, and it all got taken care of. But this is no fine. This really hurts. And my appreciation still stays, but I think Arshdeep and Avesh. See, this is only for this tournament. We know that in the T20 World Cup, Bumrah will be back. I'm not so sure
Yes.
about Harshal. I think the toss-up will be between Harshal and Arshdeep, and depends how they do,
Okay.
how well Harshal comes back. Yeah.
Before I come to Nishant, Joyda, if I can just continue with you, could you please explain to me this rule, brought in by ICC, which is today much in the talks? Because I'll be blatantly honest, I am, not being able to understand this rule. That what is it with players, take going overshooting time with completing overs, so you can't have. Could you please explain it to me and our viewers?
Yeah, I'll tell you in a nutshell. Basically, you're given an hour and 20 minutes to bowl your 20 overs. Okay, sometimes they give
Okay.
you another 10 minutes. Sometimes they give you
Okay.
another 10 minutes because the ball's going to the boundary, or somebody's pulled a
Hmm.
muscle, or somebody's changing gloves. The umpires give you an hour and a half. If you go
Okay.
beyond that hour and a half, then you're eating into the time. And today, both the teams, normally a T20 game is supposed to last 3 hours. Today, it lasted 4 hours and 10 minutes. So it
Yes.
went way over. Okay. So
Hmm.
the rule is that you've gone over the stipulated time, then you will have to bowl a certain number of overs with 5 men inside the circle instead of 4. Normally, the rule is in the first 6 overs in the power play, your seven have to be inside and two can be outside. But after six,
Okay.
it's four inside and five outside. So that five outside becomes four outside and five inside. That's how you're
Oh,
penalized.
okay.
So I
Okay.
think I think the rule is very simple. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you are given 1.5 hour, like
Mm-hmm.
given the buffer time as well, like for injury and or for some like different reasons, ball change,
Mm-hmm.
all that. If you have
Mm-hmm.
given a 1.5 hour, and by that 1.5 hour, if you have bowled 18 overs only, and you were supposed to
Okay.
bowl 20, then you will
Uh,
end up bowling last 2 overs with one fielder short in the outfield. So just imagine,
okay.
in the entire field, you can keep five fielders to save boundaries and four fielders in the 30-yard circle to save singles. But if you are bowling slow, then you are only allowed to have four fielders outside the circle and five will come in. So now in geometry, if the ground is 360-degree yards or 360-degree, you have five fielders covering the entire 360-degree. That means all five are supposed to cover 70% of it, depending on your strength and weakness. But like if you cover 70% of the ground,
Huh.
that means
Mm-hmm.
like every fielder has got 70% to cover. 70% of the ground, 70 degrees. I will say 70 degrees out of 360. 350 divided by 5 is 70. In that case, if your one fielder comes in, that means you have four fielders. That means every fielder will have to cover 90 degrees, 20 degrees extra. So that makes
Okay.
it very difficult for a bowling team. Like one small error, your fine leg is in. Your you normally you keep a mid on and a mid off, like which is your long on and long off. Then you have like if someone like Hardik Pandya, you will keep one mid wicket and then you will keep one extra cover. But now you don't have fielders behind him. You don't have a fine leg. You don't have a third man. So if he can like scoop or something, it's a boundary. So that's the thing. I hope now we both have explained to you what it means, what the rule means.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for making me understand this. And now, Nishant, I'll come to you. Hardik Pandya was today the everything, perhaps, as you stated, the difference between last year's defeat by India to this year's win by India is Hardik Pandya, the perfect all rounder. With a bat, a 17 ball 33 not out, and with the ball, he finished with figures of 4 overs, 25 runs, and three crucial wickets. So, but I need you to talk to us about, and you had picked that person, the bowler finishing with best figures against Pakistan, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. How brilliant was Bhuvaneshwar Kumar? How effective was he?
I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar's performance today proves one thing: there is no substitute for experience. Uh, like if you look at him today, he is predominantly a swing bowler, a bowler who likes to swing the ball. But the moment he reached the wicket, he bowled one or two balls and he realized that he is not getting that much swing. Changed his line, and as a leader, probably he's the most experienced fast bowler in this team. So, as a leader of the pack, he immediately changed his line, started bowling those really awkward short balls, which got him most of the wickets. Babar Azam was a classic wicket. That ball was not super, like, it was not a very fast ball. It was a well directed bouncer, which he had no option but to play. And in a format like 2020, what happens is if you start using short ball well, you can create a lot of troubles for the batters because in test cricket, in one day cricket, you can afford to lose that ball. But in test cricket, in 2020, every ball you leave is a dot ball. Like today, in the first 6 overs, Pakistan had 19 dot balls. 19
Yes.
dot balls. So out of 36 balls India bowled in the power play, 19 of them didn't get any run. That in itself was a huge, I would say that was a great start for India. And that set the tone of the match. And every Indian bowler, if you look at the majority of the wickets taken today, are of short ball. I think hardly
Yes.
there is. Hardik Pandya got all the three wickets of short ball, and they were not like
Short ball.
fluke wickets. Like even They were
The
like well
first,
directed, well
the,
aimed, well planned. I was so impressed by the field placements today. Like I think in the last game when India played, India was, sort of, because India Pakistan doesn't play much against each other, so India didn't. I feel that today's India's homework against Pakistan was immaculate. If you look at
yeah,
the first
Nishant,
over,
I think also the way the first 5 wickets went to short ball, but I don't think Pakistan batted well because you're only
yeah, they
allowed
didn't bat
one
well.
short ball.
Obviously, I
You
think,
you
I
you
think,
are
I think they were a bit
you as a
surprised by
bowling
India's
unit,
strategy. I
but
think
as
they
a
were a bit
bowling unit,
surprised by India's strategy to bowl short
you're
at them.
as a bowling unit, you're only allowed to bowl one short ball and over. What about the other five balls?
Hmm.
Why take that on? The rule of T20 cricket is one bouncer per over. So why are you taking that on?
Yeah,
You have the other once you let that once you let that one bouncer go, and they came back with the same ply to India, but India didn't fall for it. They bowled.
yeah,
See, the Pakistani fast bowlers are quicker than Indian fast bowlers, and they were better on the day today. As far as they were 25, 30 runs short. In spite of that, it's the Pakistani bowlers who made a game for themselves. I
yeah.
agree with you that it's the bowlers who it's the short ball that got to Pakistan, but I have no idea why they took them on because you only allowed one and over. You let that one go. Hardik let it go. Virat let it go initially, and that is Jadeja let it go. That's
I
the
I
reason
also
why. That,
I also feel,
yeah,
Dada, the today the field placements were like the Hardik wicket of Rizwan was a classic case when you know that you will bowl a short ball and he will be tempted to play that uppercut over third man. And that fielder, if you look at it, like, he was not walking straight. His start was walking towards the keeper, like walking, getting more finer towards the third man, and that is why that catch in the end looked so easy, because he was just placed there. Like from the ball one, there was a, like, normally you have a traditional fine leg, but in this case, in Muhammad Rizwan's case, that fine leg was almost like a square leg, because they know that that is his area. So immediately you could see that the boundary balls converted into singles, and that creates a lot of pressure on the batters. And I think that is what happened with Pakistan today. There were no easy runs for them. uh, like they had to really work hard. Field placements were such that the boundaries were not easy to come by. On a wicket like this, if you don't get your boundaries, then you know that you will be 15-20 runs short. And I think towards the fag end of their innings, they had to go for the shots. Like, what was the option for them?
Jayada, now I'll come to you. Before that, our player of the match is Hardik Pandya for his brilliant and perfect
surprise,
all-round
surprise,
performance today.
surprise,
Absolutely,
surprise.
Hardik Pandya is such an important player, and we do hope he keeps fit and healthy for the upcoming T20 World Cup to perform for Team India, just like he did tonight. Now, Jayada, I'll come to you. Speaking of bowlers, let's get to Pakistan and debutant Naseem Shah. How much did he impress you tonight?
They were all awesome, because this Indian team is a very good team. It's a strong batting order. You're 20, 25 runs short to make a match of it, to take it to the last over, to take something special from Hardik to win it. They did a fabulous job. The fast bowlers, the spinners, all of them. Because India batted in better conditions. I think was doing a little more. There was more bounce in the beginning. It became a little more flat towards in the second half. So the Pakistan bowlers bowled in the better batting conditions, and yet dented this Indian batting side. India cannot say that this match was wrapped up. This match could have gone either way. The Jadeja six, and after that those Hardik four, and then the six is what changed it. But if Hardik had got out then, which easily it could have been, then it would have gone the other way. So this is as close as the game gets. I know it looks like whatever, 4-5 wicket win, whatever, but it was much closer than that. We all know that. And it's only because of the Pakistan bowlers. The batters were below par, but the bowlers were superb.
It did go down the wire. And Nishant, once again, I'll come to that old topic of Team India still struggling with their top order. The beginning again had, Indian fans reminiscing the last year fiasco when KL Rahul once again unfortunately got dismissed in that fashion to Naseem Shah, a golden duck. But thanks to Rohit Sharma and especially Virat Kohli, they somehow, balanced the innings to some extent, giving India that start which they needed. But KL Rahul has been now struggling for quite some time. What do you think?
I don't think Damni he has been struggling for quite some time. He has been out of the team for a long time. Since IPL, he hasn't played any cricket, and we need to give him some time to get back to his form. Uh, that is why, ideally, I feel that in West Indies, he should have opened in all the games. In the one day
Okay.
games, in one first game, he allowed Shubman Gill to open, and I think at that point I had said that he should bat himself in the opener and ask
Yes.
Shubman to come at three, because
Yes.
he needs some time in the middle. Like when you're coming out of an injury, it's not easy. Your mind wants to be there, but your body,
Hmm.
लाइक जस्ट इमेजिन आपको कहीं चोट लगा हुआ है, डॉक्टर ने बोल दिया आप
Hmm.
ठीक हो गए, लेकिन जब आप पहली बार जहाँ चोट लगी हुई है आप पैर रखने में थोड़ा डरोगे, आपका वो मतलब दैट्स हाउ योर माइंड वर्क्स, लाइक व्हेन यू आर कमिंग आउट ऑफ एन इंजरी
Ha.
योर बॉडी इज लिटिल सर्कमस्पेक्ट that
Hmm. Hmm.
whether
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
can go all out. So it takes time for everything. So I think KL Rahul needs some time, and he should get some time. He has been a phenomenal 2020 cricketer, and India needs him at the top of the order. So I think Indian team management should give him some time because he's coming out of a long injury layoff. We all know the
Hmm.
kind of player that is sitting out, and it will not be, trust me, it will not be easy for anyone playing every game knowing that who is sitting out. Rishabh Pant is sitting out. Can you believe Rishabh Pant is sitting out? But it is happening. So that just shows
Yes.
the depth of this batting. And
Yeah.
I think we need to give little more time to KL Rahul, and things will settle. I personally feel that he needs some time in the middle, which he should get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, Joyda, uh, would you say that, Pakistan's batting, they were not up to the mark with their batting performance today was because Indian bowlers managed to bag that extremely big and important wicket of Babar Azam right almost at the beginning of Pakistan's innings. That gave a massive jolt to the Pakistan batting lineup.
Yeah, that obviously helped when you get the best player, the biggest player out. That helps. But I think after that also, you look at the Indian team. Okay, Rohit got out, then Virat got out, KL got out, but still there are other players. So what when Babar got out, Azam got out to the short ball. What disappointed me about Pakistan was to see the next four batters get into the short ball as well. Because
Ah,
normally what happens when you learn from you learn your lessons, you see what's going on in the middle, and you learn maybe the short ball is coming a bit quicker, maybe the short ball is coming a bit of an odd height, so you let that go. In a test match I can understand, a one day game I can understand because it's two, but here it's one and over, so you can let it go. You've got five balls to make up for it. So they lost the first five wickets to short ball, which is where I thought Pakistan lost the game. It was they lost the game in their game plan, in their head, because batting is like buffet. You go and decide what you want to eat. First is the salad and the dal. If you have the salad and the dal, you never get to the prawns and the mutton at the end. So you got to choose what you want to do, how you want to do it. There's a plan in place. Even when I go to bat, you know which bowlers you play well. Are you a better back foot player, front foot player? Are you will you'll go in the middle and say to them, I'm feeling really good. I'm playing Hardik well, but I'm not playing Jadeja well. So I'll talk to my partner and say, Mera Jadeja. So that when you bat, you talk. There's a lot of a partnership. That's why I call it a partnership. So if Nishant and I are batting and I'm struggling against Jadeja and he's playing really well, I'll go and tell him, Nishant, मेरा जड्डू से नहीं हो रहा है, तू उसको ज़्यादा खेल. So there's the way. And then he says that he's having an issue with some bowler. It's, okay, and I'm playing him well. So I thought there was no planning in place. सब घुमा रहा था bat. अब लगा नहीं. Field placing was good. Captaincy was superb. Bowling was very good. All that is given. But beyond that, this is supposed to be Asia Cup. It's India and
yeah,
Pakistan. This is a given.
yeah,
It's meant to be good bowling. It's meant to be good captaincy because the two best teams in the world are playing. But
yeah.
then how do you compete? God bless you.
Sorry.
How do
I
you
also
how do you compete? How do you
I also
compete? You compete by your better game plan, which is of your batting game plan, which is where I thought Pakistan was lacking big time today.
Yeah.
I personally
And
feel
yeah.
I personally feel that this Pakistan side, and we were discussing this before the game as well, relies heavily on Rizwan and Babar. And the moment one of them gets out, their batting is tested. And today that's what happened.
Yes.
I told you
Yes.
upfront that it will be Bhuvneshwar Kumar versus Rizwan, and
Yeah.
Bhuvneshwar almost got Rizwan. and
Hmm.
in the first over itself. But later he came
Hmm.
back at Babar Azam, and
Hmm.
after Babar Azam got out, Rizwan suddenly was, his natural game is when Babar is on the other end, he keeps attacking, and Babar takes calculated risk. But when
Hmm.
Babar Azam gets out, the problem with Rizwan is that whether he should go on with his natural game or he should try to, anchor the innings. So today,
Yes.
Pakistan kept losing wickets from one end, and Rizwan was, more or less always in dilemma whether he should go and play his natural game or stay till the end and make sure. And what happened in the end, it was too much pressure for him, and he got
Hmm.
run a ball, which is not very
Hmm.
Rizwan behavior.
He did neither.
Yeah. So that's a problem with Pakistan team, and they know about it. Like they always talk about it as well. That even today, when I was listening to commentators, they were saying that this middle order has not been tested, and this middle order, because credit to Babar and Rizwan, they have been so
Yeah.
good. वो सारा प्रेशर अपने ऊपर ही ले लेते हैं, किसी के ऊपर आता ही नहीं है. तो
Uh-huh.
so I think that has been the problem. So Pakistan's comfort zone in batting is Babar and Rizwan playing the first 10 overs, and after that they
Hmm.
come do and do bang bang bang. But when that doesn't happen, they are still searching for the B game. Like acha,
Hmm.
this is our plan A, but what happens if our plan A fails? What is our plan B?
Fails.
So I think
And
that
I'm
is
not
where.
so sure. I'm not so sure about this plan A because in a T20 game, you have your two best batters, bat one and two, and if they don't come off, you have no fallback. Then you bat one and five. You spread it out. Then at least
Yeah.
if one goes, the other can take the mantle. But you can't have your number one and number two batter bat at the top, and if they get out, then Ram Bharosa. It doesn't work like that. It's got to be a plan in
But
place.
I think
They
Dada,
are
I think there are two ways of looking at it. One way is what you are saying, and I completely agree with you. And actually, I was listening to commentary, and they were like having a detailed discussion. Other way of looking at it is that these are our two best batters, and we want them to give as many overs as possible, and our middle order should step up. Like other
yeah.
players, Fakar Zaman and all.
No,
Fakar has been
I,
around for a while now.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that you have to see it's a game of probability. If you go with your best two batters at one and two, and with a weak middle order, then would you want to really go with this and then just hope that they get through? And if you do, then you realize at the end of
No,
the
I
year
have.
we played 20.
I agree with you. I have
I'll
seen this.
just finish. Yeah, I'll just finish. We've played 27 T20s, out of which we've lost 19, but the strategy is not working. But if out of
Yeah,
27 we won 19, then the strategy is working. So
yeah.
the results will tell you how to go about it.
And I think I agree with you. If you look at it, yes, Pakistan has won a lot of 2020 matches, but you have to see what they have done in the games where they have lost their opening combination of Babar and Rizwan
Exactly.
in the first 2 3
And
overs.
how often is it
That
happening?
will
If it's
and that
happening, if it's happening 4 out of 5 games, 7, 8 out of 10 games, that's a good
that
ratio.
will
But it's
that
happening
will tell
three
the
or four
story.
games out of 10. Yeah, absolutely agreed.
That will tell the story. Yeah.
So, Joyada, was this exactly what Wasim Akram was worried about when he was having that chat with Ravi Shastri?
Yeah, I think so. Even I called this game, it's going to be a close one. I said that. I think my last words were it was going to be a close one. Because even in the Indian team, there are a couple of batters who are not really in great form. KL, I agree with Nishant, should have opened. He's a guy with a 40 average with a 140 strike rate. That's phenomenal. He walks into the team. But, he hasn't played for a while. You got to give him a lot of game time. Should have batted every game wherever he played over here. Because, you were getting the Zimbabwe tour was an A tour. So really, between us. So you really want him to bat in every game and make sure he's ready for the Asia Cup. KL Rahul going to Zimbabwe was only to get ready for Asia Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, if it's a weak opposition, you're chasing 160, 150, you make sure he bats first. Shubman can bat three, Shikhar can bat three, doesn't matter. But here you have a purpose to give him game time, and he's got to get game time.
Okay, so with these insights from my distinguished guest, we come to the end of this post match show of this electrifying match between India versus Pakistan of the Asia Cup 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I was your host, Damini Basu, and you were watching Joydeep Mukherjee and Nishanjit Arora with their insights. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining. I hope you enjoyed this very, very electrifying game between these two giants of world cricket. And we meet on the 31st of August again when India lock horns with Hong Kong. Until then, take care of yourselves and good night from India.
Thank you and good night.